YouTube channel, or welcome if you're new. Today we're going to be doing another wedding DIY. This is only one part of the wedding DIY series here on my channel. Be sure to check out my other videos if you are looking to do some DIY projects for your wedding. Today we're going to be making this acrylic wedding sign. This is the perfect way to welcome your guests to your wedding or event. If you're interested in making this sign for your wedding, just keep watching. If you are interested in more wedding DIYs here on my channel, be sure to like this video and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming tutorials. All of the items that I'm using in today's video, including the fonts, will be linked down in the description box. Fonts play a huge role in designing and can be a really great way to showcase your style or your wedding theme. The fonts that I'm using today are all available through Creative Fabrica. I actually have a monthly subscription with them that gives me unlimited access to all their graphics and fonts, and they have so many to choose from. I do have a 30% discount link for you guys that I will leave down in the description box. This will get you 30% off your monthly subscription with Creative Fabrica. The first thing you'll need for this project is a piece of acrylic. Mine is 24 by 32. You really can use any size that you want, but today we're doing a welcome sign, so we're going to want to use a larger piece of acrylic. The piece that I have here I did get from a local plastic company. I would recommend to call around some of the plastics companies in your area if you are looking for a larger piece of acrylic like this. I will link down below a few sizes that you can find on Amazon as well. For this welcome sign, I'm also going to be using this Cricut self-healing mat to help me line up the vinyl onto the acrylic. You will also need a cutting mat. This one is 12 by 24. For this project, you'll also need some vinyl. Today I'm going to be using matte white. You will also need some squeegees or soft scrapers. I have the extra large Cricut one here, and then I also have this one that has a felt edge. Some scissors, weeding tools. I also like to use the Cricut knife to help me cut the vinyl. You will also need some transfer tape. I like to use transfer tape that has grid lines. It's super helpful whenever you're applying the vinyl onto the acrylic piece. I will also be using this fabric ruler to help me line everything up. And of course, we will need our Cricut as well. You can get a very similar look without using a Cricut and just using a Sharpie oil-based pen. I did an in-depth step-by-step tutorial on how to hand letter on acrylic. If you want to check that video out, I will link it down below for you guys and in the cards. But if you don't have a Cricut and you are looking to do some wedding DIYs, this is a really easy way to do them. The first thing we're going to do is go into Cricut Design Space and open up a new project. Here is the design that we're going to be making today, including the fonts. Next, we're going to go over to the Shapes button and choose the square. We're going to click the button here to unlock, and then make this 32 by 24. And then we're going to make it white. This is going to represent our acrylic sign. Now we're going to go ahead and start adding the lettering. We're going to go over to the text and type the word welcome. Now we're going to go ahead and select the font notes for this. We're going to make this a little bit bigger. And for this, we're going to be using a couple of glyphs or special characters in order to make the word welcome look like the one over here. So the way that we do this is we're going to go down to our font book and we're going to choose the font notes. And then we're going to look for a lowercase w that has the swoosh going to the left. All right, so it's this one here. We're going to go ahead and push Command C, go back to Cricut, and we're going to insert that where this original W was. So now we have the W that has the swoosh on the end. We're going to do the same thing on the E. So we'll go back down to the font book, and we're going to find an E that has the swoosh going to the right. It's this one here. We're going to push Command C, go back to the Cricut, and insert that where the previous E was. I also saw that this font has a really cool looking L in it, so I'm going to go ahead and add that to here as well. Okay, here it is. So we're going to press Command C and insert that over here in place of this L. Now let's start with the bottom portion. We're going to go back over to the text and we're going to type to the wedding of. And for this one, we're going to choose the font Loves. Now we're going to go ahead and add the names, Carmen and Josh. in the same font. And then we're going to add this little line here. I just went over to the shapes and chose this line right here. And then we're going to change it up here to cut instead of score. That way it will be a line and not dashes like it was before. And then we're going to go in and add the date. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and get the sizing right. I'm actually going to make this exactly 26 inches long. Now we're going to go ahead and get all of these centered up. So we're just going to select everything, go up to align, and press center horizontally. Now we're going to go ahead and attach all of the wording that was in the font Loves. We're going to attach all of that together. For the word welcome, because our Cricut will only cut up to 23.5 inches, we're going to have to break this down into two separate sections. We are going to ungroup, and let's see how long this is. Okay, so what we can do is we will cut all of this in one piece, and then we'll cut the E separately because this will all fit on one mat, and then we'll put the E on a separate mat. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and weld all of this portion together. So now this is one piece, and the E will cut separately on a separate mat. Okay, we are ready to send this on over to the Cricut. I'm going to delete all of this here. And now we just have our design left behind. Now we're going to go ahead and apply our vinyl to the cutting mats and then load them up into the Cricut. Here I'm taking my Cricut knife and removing some of that excess vinyl. I like to flip my mat over to remove the vinyl from the cutting mat. That way the design doesn't roll up. And now it's time to weed. The next step is to add our transfer tape onto the design. Now we're going to go ahead and take our scissors and trim as close as we can around the lettering. This sign is so big that I had to move over into the dining room. My office desk was just way too small. So now I just removed the protective layer on the acrylic, and now I'm just gonna slide my Cricut mat underneath the acrylic piece and get everything lined up. The Cricut mat that I'm using here is 18 by 24, and once again, the piece of acrylic that I'm using is 24 by 32. So I'm just using the Cricut mat as a guide to help me line up the vinyl perfectly. Here I'm just lining everything up and getting my designs spaced evenly onto the acrylic. This part can be a little bit tedious, and if you are a perfectionist like me, it might take you a little bit of time. But don't let this part stress you too much. If you're off a few centimeters, it's not a huge deal. Now we're going to go ahead and grab some masking tape and use that to tape down the vinyl in the middle like I did here. Pick up one side of the design and peel the transfer tape away from the backing paper. Be sure that the vinyl sticks to the transfer tape. And then take your scissors and cut some of that backing paper away. Grab your squeegee and lay that vinyl down onto the acrylic. Remove the masking tape and use your squeegee to run over the vinyl one more time. Pull back the remaining piece and remove the backing paper. Then use your squeegee to lay down the rest of that vinyl. And then I just went ahead and removed the transfer tape from this section. That way I could add the E onto the end. And then you're just going to repeat that same process to apply the rest of the design. I did want to mention that you can paint the back of this sign if you want to. This bride and groom wanted their welcome sign to be clear, so that's why I'm leaving this one clear for today. But I do have several other videos where I paint the back of wedding signs if you want to check those out. I will link that playlist here in the cards and down below in the description box. Here is our finished product. I love the way this sign turned out. The clear acrylic gives such a simple but elegant look. I hope this video helped you create a beautiful sign for your big day. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more wedding DIYs. I'll see you guys soon.